This is kind of a random blog post, whatever. As you notice, it's Black History Month, and by the way, happy Valentine's Day. I was just joking, y'all. I was riffing on some people about Valentine's Day being a religious holiday and it need to be banned. What's my girl on GOTV said? She's the Grinch that stole Valentine's Day. Well, I'm the other. I'm the main one, Mr. Grinch. Because, they start all this political correctness when it comes to Christmas. And I just, and so I equated that it's Saint Valentine's that is actually Christian, and that they need to ban that too, because I knew that would ruffle some feathers, because a lot of people ain't gonna talk about it. They give up God. They ain't gonna give up sex. Having sex and romance and love. They don't, God is love. So I was just equating the two, because people get real politically correct around Christmas time, but they don't for Valentine's Day, which I call Happy Vagina Day. I like laying it to you. But anyway, I just wanted to wish everybody, all the lovers, all the romance, and love is a wonderful, powerful, the most powerful thing on the planet. Yeah, you can't, you can, and Sweet Honey and Rock says, you can bomb my house, but you can't bomb the love, you can't bomb my spirit. And that's the thing. A lot of people think, well, they just kill you, and that'll be the end of it. That's what they thought about Martin Luther King. That's what they thought about Jesus Christ. That's what they thought about Malcolm X. It only got bigger, So, because that's how love is. Very powerful. Love conquers all. Anyway, like I said, this is a random post. And speaking of bombing and killing and lovers and haters, I was just thinking about politics, a lot about politics lately. And as you can see, I'm doing a lot of activist kind of things about boy, binging hard, I'm telling you that. A lot of activist things about, I'm supposed to be turned up my sound, about, a lot of things, the gentrification of Harlem, just basically, people who have lived there. Malcolm X has died there, Audubon Theater, and all kinds of things, the growth of a culture, and just being told to get out because of big business. And I do apologize for just saying back then and being in the guts of the community and just saying white people. That was a very sweeping general term, and I didn't mean it. I meant it towards only certain people, which were more like big business and corporations okaying for people who are usually too white to come in that neighborhood. I don't know. There's a lot of political things there, because I also went to Abyssinia, and on Sundays you would have just buses of people, and Caucasian, white, whatever you want to call it. I don't know all the politically correct stuff, so forgive me. They would come in from all around the world to visit Harlem, to eat at Sylvia's, pans, all the kind of things, that made the Harlem experience, which I was so blessed, and I thank God for, that I really had the full Harlem experience. I mean, I moved there, well, first time I came to New York, I think it was 2 weeks, I moved in the YMCA. I lived at the YMCA for the first 2 months. I lived in New York, right there on 135th Street, and then 7-8 years later, I was living on Strivers Road, which is one of the nicest streets. That's the street that everybody wants. So anyway, that was random. But like I said, I was talking about hate, love, and hate and stuff, and this politics, and it amazes me, these politics and the Republicans, which, by the way, I am a registered Republican. Go figure. I vote for what's right. Forget all that party crap. Like I say, I'm not politically correct as I should be. But if I realize like, the sky is falling. Forgive me for being a little bit emotional about it. But I don't want to see my kids suffocating in the middle of the day. I don't mean to go that far with it, but what I mean to say is that there's certain things that you should be emotional and passionate about. But while I'm saying that is I also just finished writing a 15-page essay for Skylight Productions, Lisa Murray's Skylight Productions, and in the spotlight about how you should not be emotional about a lot of the things, or putting that in a proper place. There's a place for it. The fact that you aren't emotional about the fact that, we're sending our young youth home in body bags from a war in the desert over oil and oil conglomerates and the CIA. So Big Daddy CIA just got involved in Big Daddy Bush, Mr. CIA himself, just got involved in endorsing, the same way, the same crap they have been doing in Iran. And let me say this, right? Now, this is probably the most politically incorrect. I don't believe, as wicked as some of that stuff is, I don't believe in what they did to Kennedy, the assassination. But technically speaking, right, it's not really assassination if we just hold a gun on the Bushes, to make sure they don't make any sudden moves, just not gonna shoot them, just hold the gun on them, until they get out of office, to make sure they don't, trick us into some other kind of thing something that has to do with oil or devastating the middle class. I read an interesting article that somebody wrote, and I'm just speaking a commentary basically on what I saw on the TV today, and I basically don't watch TV. So, except I did turn it on, I saw the Flavor Flav show, so I might watch it. But basically I saw how they basically talked about, well, everybody want to be rich, so that's why we shouldn't give the rich a tax cut. They shipped all the middle class jobs overseas and all across the border and different places. They did that, and then they say there's no war on the middle class. And they give now look at the relationship, y'all. The CEOs make much more money because they took our money and gave them to people who were working for pennies so that they can get more money and more stretch. So they become richer, and then give them a tax break. And you tell me that's not something to be slightly passionate about? Read my documentary, my essay, Skylight Production. I'm totally, I'm an artist, but art is art and science. You always say art and sciences, because there's a logistical part of it. And so I am into that, and it's not, there's a point where you learn how to play all the technical notes of an instrument, and you learn all the chromatic, monochromatic scales and all of that. But at some point you become abstract and you begin to become free and passionate, and but they're talking about this emotionalism it's a bad thing. We should be emotional about not being able to put food on the table for your children. If you're not emotional, the problem is that they're unemotional about how we feel about other people. So anyway, that's kind of very random, and me. But like I say, this is not a presidential thing. I mean, technically, just kind of just don't move. You know, we're not gonna shoot you. Just don't move. Anyway, I'm joking a little bit.